Hi there guys, Glenn Martinez, Olomana Gardens. I'm on this side. We got Sister Cash and her grandson Jimmy on the other side. So what do we got going here today? What I've got here is a 55-gallon aquarium. I filled it with some dirty water just so you can see it a little better, a little color in it. What am I doing? I'm siphoning the water out from here, up over here, and over to here. Now this is the siphon pipe. It siphons over here. Now the pipe going down inside of here is the same length as this. Notice the crossover. We call this the safety crossover siphon. What it does is the water in the tank here, when it's siphoned over to here and that water is same level here, it's going to go to there, okay? If the water here went below there, and I can make that happen by taking this out here, I'm going to have a sump pump down there, pumping it back up. And let's just say I just let it stay over here on this side for a few minutes, right? This is now going to run down. When this runs down, here's the cool thing that's going to happen. When this water gets down to here, that little guy's going to stop pumping. Why? Because the water coming into here can't go over to there. If it could get over to there, that guy will pump it out. Now it's pumping it out at the rate of 200 gallons a minute. I just timed it with a 5-gallon bucket. Fill up the bucket in less than a minute and a half. That means 10 gallons every 3 minutes. 3 goes into 60 20 times. 20 times 10 makes it 200 gallons an hour, okay? So, what do we got here? You got a siphon, and then you got your pump coming up and going there. And the cute part is when this water gets down to here, this guy's going to quit running. Now that's really important so you don't come back tomorrow morning and find your tank drained all the way down. Now that water, to break this siphon, would have to come all the way to the very bottom. It never can because of the crossover point. So fill it, crossover, come here. What's this guy about? Well, this guy drains here. If there's water coming here, if I wanted to, I could take this guy, tilt it down, and this one would set the level. If the water gets below there, she will shut it down. It's already below there. This guy's already sucked it down. So if I turn off this air pump, you'll see that the siphon is still going. The siphon's coming over here. The water's already below this point. And that's it. It's just going to settle out here. And the water here cannot get any lower. Okay? Now, that sets the highest mark. If I were to take this and tilt it up, like to here, and if I were to take my little sump pump here and put it back up, so I start putting water back in over here, if this filled up all the way to here, that would set the maximum level. So you got two things. This is a fix. Management pre-decided that that's the lowest they want that aquarium to go. You can come along operationally and decide you want it to be up here, or you could have it lower. But you can, there's nothing you can do by moving this to lower this point here, okay? Now let's take this thing apart. But if this is the siphon coming to here, and this is your crossover well, this is just my standard pipe and a pipe pump, okay? Stands there, air comes in here, goes down, releases, comes back up, and it pumps. You guys seen that one before? Put that on the side for a moment. Let's take this. This is the siphon itself. If I pull this up to here, like there, and I pull it all the way out, I just broke the siphon, okay? It's simply a U pipe coming all the way around, notches on both ends, and that's so when it's sitting down, that there's no way that I can clog it. It makes no difference if I put it in this way or that way. It makes no difference at all. Now I'm gonna set it back in here, and I'm gonna step around the other side. When I come over here, I'm going to reach down and pick up my suction hose. This suction hose is hooked at a little air compressor over there. I can take almost any air compressor that pumps air out. I look for its input, I hook a hose up to it, and now if I do this, this is a suction. Can you hear that? Okay, now I want you to notice something. If I do that, and if I have water over here in it, if I want this well here, I'm going to prime the well here. If this well has water in it, then this pipe here will be in the water. Okay, do you see that? Okay, and watch what happens when I do this. I'm going to put my thumb here and watch this. Do you see that water come up and over? Okay. I'm going to do it one more time for you. I'm going to break it. Boom, she goes. Now watch this. My thumb here, and watch the water come up here. Because what we're doing, we're sucking the air out. You see that? We just sucked the water up. Now the siphon is running. If the siphon is running, and if the water is above the crossover, you'll have an overflow. Okay? So that's how simple that is. So what's the rest of it? The rest of it is, if I have this little guy here, if that's the U-shaped siphon, and I'm just going to hang that here in the tank for a moment. And over here I have a rope tied to a bottle. And the bottle is just a weight. You can do this. If you have one thing on one side of the tank, just hang the rope over the other side and it will pull that pipe to where you want it to be. I'm going to set that down. I'm going to take this guy off. That was my little siphon pump going. And watch this. I'm going to take this. This is how simple it can be, guys. The super safe siphon. So we call it super safe because there's no way you're going to draw your tank down below that level. Do you see that? That's the level of the tank here, guys. The level of that water there. That's your overflow. This is just an empty piece of pipe. No magic to it. I take this little guy. I stand it here. I put my rope over here. And this is just to hold it in place. You could strap it or do whatever you wanted to do. It's strapped into place now. If this is the water coming from the siphon here, coming back, I mean not from the siphon, but from the bilge pump, a bilge pump or a sump tank pump, the water from there, all I do is fill it up to here, up to this level, okay? When it fills up to here, it's going to start coming out there. So you just watch this here in just a second. This pump is just going to fill it up, and that primes your well, okay? If I do that, then I just take this pipe here, and I simply just set it down inside. I set it down inside, and we're just about full of water now. We're coming right up. I step over here to my suction pipe. You hear the little suction going right. Now if this pipe is in the water and that one's in the water, now you see how the water's coming out here? See how the water's coming out there? That's because your siphon, now you filled it up. Can't overflow, we just go there, so no harm, no foul. I want you to watch here now. This is the magic right here, ready? This thumb, this finger. You see it? It's pretty quick, okay? Want to do it again? Okay, Sister Cass says, do it again. I'm going to break the siphon, I'm going to set it back in. Now watch this, that's your suction. That's on my little air compressor here. There's your water, watch this now. Bingo, there she goes. Is that a little rocket ship or what, huh? So you can start a siphon. I can start it, let's count it. 1001, 1002, 1003, less than 3 seconds. And you suck it right up, okay? Now, you all know I could go, and we all did that as kids, stealing gas, or some of us did, coming around here. I want you to notice that the water stayed up there. That's because there's a check valve here. The check valve lets me suck the air out and doesn't let it go back in. It's that simple. Now that just throws on the road. Now the little air compressor, you can show this one now. Is this showing? This little air compressor, this is the air coming out in this hose here, okay? If it's coming out at one end, it's being sucked in the other. I want you to think about your shop vac. Every shop vac we've ever owned, you have a hose you can hook up and it can suck, or you can turn around and suck it to blow out, okay? Now, if I want to pump water, like with my well-in-a-well pump, I put it in there, I want what the air compressor pumps out. But if I want to start a siphon, this is a hose hooked to the top of the side of my air compressor here. This is the one. By the way, I'm going to stick it out here. I'm going to try to say, how can I show you? If I did this, if I put my hand across here, see if I wish I left that one flat, I could be able to show you an air brake start. There might be the impossible green here, if I can close this off or not. That's a little bit too tough of a thing. I was going to try to close my hand across that to show you that you could suck this water right up here. If I'd left that flat, I could have just put my hand on it and stopped it, and it would have sucked the water up there for you. But watch this. See, if I do it here, you get nothing, folks. Nothing. Why? Because the air is coming in here. When I stick it in the well, now there's water in both of them. Watch what happens. Bingo. 1, 2 seconds. 3 at the max. Okay? And you're good to go. And once the siphon starts, she's going to be there. Why? Look where your water is. Your water is above the crossover pipe, so she'll overflow. Now that's great if you want to go from your fish tank to a biofilter to then a sump tank and you want to pump it back. As Dr. Riccozzi said, one country, one God, one pump. That's great. But let's say you want to go somewhere else. You want to take this fish water and you want to go somewhere else in your garden. What do? I would take this, my little pipe and a pipe siphon, and I would drop it into the well, ta-da, right? I would reach over here. Whoa, I'm gonna get wet. You guys saw that coming, didn't you, huh? I'm gonna send the air up in here. Now the air is pumping this up and up to there. Now, you say, well, I'm going right back in the same place, right? Well, not necessarily so. Check this out. If I take this end of the hose and I stick it onto here, then this water from here, I could send it anywhere I wanted to in my garden. Well, where do I get off saying anywhere in my garden? Okay? That's because, folks, if I hook a hose to there, the water over here is going to bump up to this high. Down here, you're siphoning from there. I can only go to places lower than that. Here, I can pump up. Between you and me, I can pump that up 10 to 12 feet, okay? 10 to 12 feet, the water will go up to the height that is in there. See there it stops? If I lower down, she'll run. The whole thing about water seeking its own level, right? We really worked that one to death around here. Did you see that water? That's 200 gallons an hour coming out, okay? How do I know that? Because I measured it, what was coming out here into my bucket. That's the same amount at the end of the hose, no matter where I go in my garden. In fact, I could turn around and I could go squirt Miss Sister Nat if I wanted to, but hey, I don't want to go there, right? So, if you do this, you can add up. If I close this, the water is going to pump up higher and higher and higher until she starts squirting out the top. For all you disbelievers that doubted whether I could go up there or not. You see that there, Sister Nat? All right? Now, if I get it up that high there, then I can get over here. Okay? And that's the level of your water that you're going to have running, equal to whatever you do over there. That makes sense to everybody? Okay? It's good fun, you know. Right? So, we'll put this back to here. That's this water coming here. I can pull this out. I can lay it down. I can take out my U-siphon here. I can disconnect the hose here. Now that would be where I'm going to suck the air out to suck the water up over, and both of these would be in the water. One in the tank, one in the pipe. You see that clearly in here? Right down to here. See there? Right? The only other thing I have is this. And folks, with this, we have an expression here. Simple siphon says. Okay? Simple siphon. That's it. It doesn't get easier and it doesn't get safer than having a crossover. Okay? All these years we've been coming to here, at the bottom of this pipe, we went off with the hose and went somewhere. And over, we sucked the aquarium down below that level, let air in, broke the siphon, all kind of problems. No more, guys. Can you build this? I think everybody watching this can build this simple thing. Got any doubts? Go up to www.olamanagardens.com. That's our web page. These videos are all posted up on www.olamanagardens.aquaponics.com. Okay? Thank you.